guys, welcome to a new video here in JS Education. My name is Carlos Santana, and this is a video number 42 for the course Developing a Headless CMS with TypeScript and GraphQL. Let's start. So the first thing we need to do, as always, is to run ncu-u to update our packages, and remember that you should install the versions you are seeing on my terminal to avoid any problem. Okay, so after you install those packages, you need to go to frontend and then next.config, and we are going to enable the new React strict mode. As you know, since React 16.3 version, they enable the strict mode. So with Next, the way to make it enable is by adding this to the next config file. As you know, the strict mode is gonna be as the name says, more strict with our code. And if we write like old React code, or we use like lifecycle methods that are deprecated, so for example, the component will receive props or things like that, it's going to complain and throw some warnings. Okay, so after that, now let's go to source, app, dashboard, components, content, and content styled. And in here, we are going to add a new class rows with a min height of 80 BH. This is to keep our footer down. Now you should go to index in the content folder. And as you remember on the last video, I mentioned to you that I want to translate the table, the things that are inside the table. So in order to do this, you need to pass the new, the T function to the table. And basically this is going to translate whatever is inside the table. And then after this, you need to go to modals and then publish or unpublished entries. And in here, we are going to import the function capitalize from fogg-utils, and basically we are going to pass that function to our action button right here, because basically this action is on lowercase, so that's a problem, because later we cannot translate publish with lowercase, publish entry, or save entry. So this is going to put the letter with capitalized letter. So and then after this, you need to go to my apps, and then my apps that's styled, and at the end we need to add a new class called flex footer, which is going to be a display flex and then has some margin top. This is for the new language switcher and the logout component that we have. After this, you go to the index on my apps, and in here, we need to import our language switcher component, which is gonna be a new component that we will create on this video. And basically, this logout, you need to grab it into flex footer, the language switcher and the logout. Now let's go to schema declarations index, and we have some validations here on the height of the model for Japanese language, but also we need to add that for Arabic language as well. And also we need to insert a space, like entity, HTML entity for a space, right here before the declarations. And this is because, as you know, when we switch to Arabic, basically the page switch completely 180 degrees, so it's inverted completely. So sometimes the spaces are kind of weird on Arabic, so that's why we are adding this extra space to fix some styles there. And now let's go to fields, and then fields that's styled. And in this file, we are going to add or import the isWriteToLeft and add method. And basically on line 25, we need to replace this right 10 pixels for this. We are going to add right 10 pixels for non-Arabic and left 20 pixels with Arabic languages. Also on line 116, you need to add a margin right of 15 pixels only for Arabic. Okay, now let's go to the index, and in here we also need to validate the Arabic language for the height of these models, because the Arabic and the Japanese takes more space on the height. Okay, now let's go to a schema styled, and in this one also you need to import the add and isWriteToLeft. And on line 25, on this one we are going to replace that left with this. We are going to add the left 205 pixels for non-Arabic and a right 205 pixels for Arabic, and this is to fix the menu to delete and edit the models. Okay, after that you need to go to the footer, which is on share components, layout, main footer, and then index. And in here you need to import your language switcher component and basically just render it before the copyright. And let's create that component now. On main, you need to create a new folder called language switcher it's just a folder, and then inside a new file, language switcher.style.ts. So this is gonna be the styles for that. Then you need to create the index file, index.tsx. And this is the component for this. Basically, we are going to use the select component on fogg-ui, and we need to import get select languages, get current language, and redirect to from fogg-utils. We are going to also get the content context, the config, and then we get the current language, and then we get the select options based on the config languages list that we have. And basically we are going to render this select with the language list. But this select, I add a new prop called top. So basically, as you know, when we use selects on fogg-ui, the items are put below the select. But we want to open the select and then see the options on the top. So that's why we add this top prop here. So you control the top on pixels, basically because it's a position absolute. So that means the box is gonna be on top. And then the type white is gonna be for a white select. It's gonna be a white background with gray borders. And then on the on click, basically the value is gonna be the language that the user selected. So if the value is different than the current language, basically we are going to do a redirection to the same page, but injecting or modifying the new language. For example, if you are on English and you switch to Spanish, basically it's going to redirect to the same page, but the language is going to change. So that's it for this component. Now on logout styled, we need to remove the position absolute to fix the logout component. And then on the sidebar, we open the sidebar styled. You need to add the add and is right to left. We need to add here a height of 101 pixel, 101%. This is to fix the sidebar. And then on the second options, which is here, second options, we are going to convert our div to be a position absolute, be on front of anything, having a background white and a height of 100%. But also we are going to have two classes depending on the language. So by default, we will have left to right. So in this case, that means when it's not Arabic, it's going to open the sidebar from the left. But when it's right to left, it's going to open the sidebar from the right. So we need to change these parts. And now the width 100% on the close class is gonna be 215 pixels. And also we need to add here a margin left of 10 pixels. And finally on the line 208, we need to add right conditional only if it's Arabic to fix the profile photo or the image that it has the user profile. Now let's open the index on the sidebar, and basically here we are going to import the get direction from fogg-utils, and we need to fogg-utils on line 91. After this class second options, we are going to specify the direction passing the language. So if the language is Arabic, it's going to return R right to left, RTL. And if it's any other language, it's going to return left to right, LTR. So that's the classes that we are going to manipulate on the styles. And also we need to change the icon direction on the sidebar based on the direction. So if the language is Arabic, we are going to set the value right. And if it's any other language, we are going to set the value on left. Okay, so that's it. Let's test our code. I didn't update all the translations I have right now because at the end doesn't make sense because you cannot copy all this text. But when you see this video, you will be able to do a git pull on the repository, and basically you will have all the latest translations. Also, if you want to help me to add more translations or more languages to the platform, you are welcome to do it. You can open a pull request on the repository, and I will accept it if it's any other language like French, Italian, German, etc. So if you see here on the footer, I have the language switcher. So right now we are on English, but we can switch to Spanish, and it's going to redirect and change the language here. So now if we go to the application, basically, let's open this model. We are now on Spanish, and then in here we also have the switcher. So if we switch to Arabic, you will see that the page changes completely, and now the sidebar opens from the right side, and now the arrow also changes here. Also, we fixed the position of this menu. So if you now change, also the switcher on Arabic is on the right side. So if you switch again to another language, basically we fix this menu, and also the sidebar opens from the left. Now if you go to, for example, let's go to another application that I have. if you go to the content, for example, in here, I only translate a few texts on the table, for example, the counter. I did not translate the fields names because basically this is the field name that you created. So it doesn't make sense to translate it because basically you can get confused. For example, if your field is content, and then basically you translated that to Japanese or to Spanish or any other language, and you will think like probably the name of your field is gonna be on that language, but no. Well, actually I made some translations. If you only pass or you hover on the text, it's gonna be a translation here, but it's not made it like on the actual value, so you don't get any problem. So I don't know if you know Japanese, but I can tell you in Spanish easier. So for example, here content, and then basically it's contenido, created at, creado en, status, estado, etc. So yeah, that's basically what it is from this video. So I will put this video here. I think for now is enough. I hope you like it. Remember that if you have any question, feel free to join our Slack community. The link is on the description. Also, if you like those videos, please help me to share those videos with your friends and also subscribe to this new channel. So that's it. Thank you for your time and see you in the next video. Bye.